How many games will the Minnesota Vikings win in 2023? What's going on, Vikings fans? It's Mitch here to give you my record prediction for the Vikings in 2023. Will they have a repeat of 2022, winning the NFC North, double-digit wins? Or will they regress like so many people seemingly think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to spike the like button. And let's find out how many games the Vikings will win this year. I'm going to be honest to begin this prediction. The Vikings are tricky. The Vikings last year, I had a good feel. I felt like they were going to go to the playoffs, surprise everybody. This year, it feels like they're going to take a step back. But it also feels like they're one of those teams that with Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, they could still make the playoffs. They could still win this division. It's possible. So let's go through their schedule and feel it out game for game. Week 1, Tampa Bay at home, new quarterback, no Tom Brady, in your building, one of the best home fields in football. I'm going to take the Vikings. Week 2, you play the Philadelphia Eagles. I hope you don't get squashed the way you did last year in this Thursday night type of environment, primetime. But we know Kirk isn't exactly the greatest primetime quarterback of all time. I'll take the Eagles. Week 3, you play the Chargers. I think this is going to be a back and forth duel. If your defense can rise to the occasion here under Brian Flores, he's going to get some tests early on. Then maybe. But I like the Chargers. I think they're a more talented, overall better team. They should be healthy early in the year. So I'll take the Chargers. Week 4, you play the Carolina Panthers on the road. I think they've got a tough defense. Obviously a young quarterback, new coaching staff under Frank Reich. I think they're going to be a better coach team. I think they're going to have a good defense. And they're going to run the ball a lot. I think Carolina wins, but that's a game that could go either way. I think Carolina could win their division this year. Week 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't really have to explain. I'm going with the Chiefs. This one, maybe you could steal in a shootout. Like you stole a game last year against the Bills in that type of game on the road. But I don't know, man. I just don't feel you have the defense to slow down Mahomes. I don't think you can really keep up in that setting. I could be wrong. I could, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Super Bowl champs for a reason. Week 6, you play the Bears in Chicago. Typically, you do struggle in this environment to play the Bears. Last year, obviously, they sucked. I do think they've improved a little bit in the offseason, and I do think they're going to win some of these games that they lost last year. So I'm going to take the Bears in Chicago. Now, this is a little bit of a slide here. I will admit, this is going to be shocking. So maybe you do beat Carolina. You're going to have to beat a team like Carolina. You're going to have to beat a team like Chicago. But these are not easy games. Then you play San Francisco. I mean, that is tough. I got to take the 49ers. Now, again, you're at home on Monday night. Is there a chance you win this game? Absolutely. As a home dog on a Monday night, I got to give you a shot. But man, the Niners are one of the best teams in the NFL. It's hard not to pick the Niners. Then you play the Packers on the road. I mean, I want to take the Packers here. Like, I really do. Like, this is ridiculous. 1-6? I don't think that's actually going to happen. So I may have to adjust this. Like I think you're going to split with the Bears. I think you're going to split with the Packers, right? So let's just say you beat the Bears the first time. You beat the Packers the first time. Because I don't think you're going to lose all these games in a row. I just really don't think that's going to happen. So 3-5 makes a lot more sense. So let's go with that. Then you play the Atlanta Falcons. Man, I could see you winning this game. I think Atlanta is a team that I'm really just indecisive about. Like, one day I think they're going to win the NFC South. The next day, I just can't trust Desmond Ridder. I go back and forth. I think the Vikings can beat them, though. I mean, similar environment in a dome in Atlanta. I think they don't have a dynamic passing attack, so I'm not too worried about your secondary. As long as you can crowd the box, stop the run. And then offensively, I do think that Cousins can make some things happen through the passing game. So I'm going to go with the Vikings there. At home versus the Saints, I think you beat the Saints. Something about the Vikings versus the Saints, they've done a good job against them in recent history in big games, especially playoffs. I think the Saints are going to be an up and down team. I think they're going in the season with hype to win that division, but I don't know if they're quite going to live up to that level. And you don't get them in New Orleans, you get them at home, so I think you should win that game. Denver, I think you could beat Denver. It's a tricky spot versus the Broncos there. I think in Denver, it's always tough. It depends on Russell Wilson. Like, he's really a wild card. Like, I think he should be better than last year, but how much better? I'm going to go with, man, I think you're going to lose to one of Denver or the Raiders. They're both on the road, and they're both against teams that I think are fairly at the same level. I think the Raiders have the better offense. The Broncos have the better defense. I like Sean Payton quite a lot. I think by week 11, we're going to know what the Broncos are. Like, rather they're going to be pretty good or they're not going to be good. So, like, we're going to know. I'm going to lean towards the Vikings in that Broncos matchup. I'm going to take the Raiders at home in Vegas after the bye, but that could be swapped depending on your preference. Then you have, maybe I will swap that. Maybe I'm going to go, yeah, I don't know. That, again, like, either way, this is tough. Like, the Raiders got a really good offense. Then again, Brian Flores knows Josh McDaniels. So, yeah, let's go Vikings. Let's go Broncos. Okay, that's my definitive decision. Then we got the Bears on the road against the Vikings. As I said, I think you're probably going to split with the Bears. But I just didn't see you dropping all those games early in the season. So I'm going to go with I do think, though, Monday night at home, you should win. Monday night at home, you should win. So, again, I'm going to switch that one. So, you split with the Bears. Week 15, you lose to the Bengals. Don't have to be indecisive about that. One of the best teams in football. Joe Burrow. That should be a really fun game, though. I will say that could be a really fun game. Jamar Chase versus Justin Jefferson. Week 16, I think you beat the Lions at home. I think you beat the Packers at home. You make a late season push for the playoffs, and you drop the last game of the year for the division, probably, against the Lions. That's kind of how I see it. I think the Lions are going to win the division. I think the Vikings are that team that's fighting for the division with the Lions toe-to-toe. I think the Bears and the Packers are a little bit below that. So, ultimately, I have the Vikings sitting at 8-9, somewhere around 7 to 10 wins, in that range. I think the Vikings have sat around this range for the last few years with Kirk Cousins. I think they regress from last year. They don't win as many close games. But I do think this schedule is a lot harder. When you look at it, you have to play the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Niners. You have to play a first-place schedule. The Bengals, games against Denver and the Raiders are not gimmies. The Lions are a good team this year. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is gone, but I mean, this is a very tough schedule. A lot tougher than last year. You play all of the best teams in the NFL outside of really the Bills and the Cowboys, and that's about it. So you play the best teams in the NFL. I have you at 8-9. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you want to say 9-8, 10-7 at the best, I could believe it. If you're going to say 7-10, maybe that's a little bit too far, because I still feel like the NFC, Kirk Cousins is a top 3 quarterback in this conference, I think. So top 3 or 4. So I think he still is going to get 8 wins out of this season. So let me know in the comments what you think. But this was definitely a tough one. Gronk, spike that like button, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.